Hi, and welcome to Save the Track Bike, the Fixed Gear Cycling Podcast. I'm your host, Joshua LeBure. On today's episode, I get to talk to Jason Colon, aka Buckets, on Instagram at Captain Buckets with a K, Captain with a K. So go follow him. We had a really good conversation. We talked about Red Hook, the Mission Crit series, C6 Racing, his racing team, his podcast, Cat 6 Chismes, and just what the scene's like in New York and all that good stuff. I found this conversation to be really really and Buckets is just such a kind person and just has a super deep passion for cycling, and you can just tell listening to him talk. So I thoroughly hope you enjoy this conversation. So let's get to it.
Just buckets.
All right. Cool. I'm here with Jason, aka Buckets. Do you want to introduce yourself and tell people where you're from and what you're about?
Sure. What's up, Josh? I'm Jason, also known as Buckets in the community. The nickname came from playing basketball, growing up in Spanish Harlem. Few of the people I used to play basketball with used to name me Sabonis when I was raw, when I was first starting. And then as my game developed, I started to drop a lot of buckets, so they called me Captain Baja Buckets. Baja standing for down or dropping a lot of, dropping. So, that's where I get the nickname Buckets from. And then around 26... I was about 26. I had just recently got surgery on my knee for a torn meniscus that I had for about 4 years. I was trying to play sports through that injury and just didn't have medical insurance. I was being dumb about it. And so once I finally got the surgery, I used to, for rehab, I would be on a stationary bike and I played a lot of YouTube while I was on the stationary bike. This led me to watch Line of Sight, Track or Die Alley Cats.
Nice.
It got me. That's how I got in the scene. And this is about 2013, right? So prior to this, I basically rode maybe a BMX or mountain bike once or twice.
Yeah.
I never really owned a bike. I lived in a city that was, I guess growing up in the city, all I saw were basically BMX and mountain bikes. But I was able to travel by train. And the Metro Card and the Iron Horse definitely got me around. And then, like I said, so I come out of rehab and now, I'm hooked. I want to get a track bike. Premium Rush just came out, so I'm basically grouped with that generation.
Yeah.
Even though Premium Rush definitely did not get me into it, but I'm still grouped with that generation because I came in the scene around that time.
Yeah, man, I remember riding with friends to go see that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, when it was in theaters.
And it's not that bad of a movie, man. I mean, you don't get 4 options to fucking be able to ditch and dodge traffic. You get maybe 1.
Yeah.
And it better be the right one.
Exactly.
I definitely learned that. And like I said, so prior to getting a track bike, and shout outs to Ramel Anderson, who used to be the head mechanic at Recycle a Bike out on Vernon and Jackson Boulevard out in Queens. I show up to his shop one day, and I have a women's frame Peugeot, I believe it's right.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's
so.
You
right? All right, cool. I always butcher some names, man.
Oh, and I do too.
Good. Right. I mean, no disrespect, but you already know, man. It's the accent. But either way, so I show up to the shop, and I'm like, yo, I want to turn this into a track bike. And he looks at me, and first thing he does is laugh. And he's like, yo, bro, you can't turn that into a track bike. But what I can do for you, I have this seized seat post in this frame. And if you could take it out, it's yours. So, yo, I was there for a whole week straight, man, going there on the train and just, trying to get a filer to, file that seat post down because there was no way we can, I guess, move it back and forth to get it out. So I'm there a whole week, and he saw the dedication that I had. So, during that time, he just said, man, look, This frame doesn't seem like it's going to get the C post out ever. Here's this other frame, which is a early 2000 Bianchi steel track frame, right? Yeah. Like I said, I was hooked from that. And after that, my second bike, well, actually that first bike, I really rode to the ground. I put dents in it. I got hit a few times on it. Let me tell you, every night I would get that bike and I would do 2 laps in Central, head out down the West Side Path, the West Side Highway, take Brooklyn Bridge to Manhattan Bridge to Williamsburg Bridge, Pulaski, and then to the 5-9 back home to 116. And that was like almost every night because, I was just so hyped off just being on a track bike and the love of and the freedom of just riding. And it was so much fun, man. So that's pretty much how I got into bikes.
Yeah, that's rad. Yeah, that's really similar to my story too. Just like, except out here in Denver,
Yeah, right? So. I can only imagine. How's that altitude, man?
I don't really notice it anymore. I've lived here so long.
Right.
But I actually haven't done any races or anything like outside of Colorado yet. So I'm kind of stoked to see what my endurance is like when I go do some races in like California and like Milwaukee and stuff this year. Cool. We'll see what happens.
Milwaukee, you coming out to the fixation series?
I want to. It's not a crazy drive from where I am, so I'm thinking that I want to just throw my bike in the car and go. So,
all right, cool.
Yeah.
Shouts to Tribe. They basically gave me a free trip to go out there and race last year in that series, and I was able to rub some elbows with some of the best American racers, and it was so much fun, man. Let me tell you, so much fun.
Who did that?
It was, sorry?
Who did that? You said Tribe Bicycles?
Yes, Tribe Bicycles basically gave me a bike. They was like, yo, just come out, ride this bike, and, we'll let you stay with us, and we'll definitely drive out with you. And I was like, all right, cool. So we're out, and, it was so much fun. I was able to do the Milwaukee and Chicago fixation series. And awesome. being able to race with Addison, Josh, Chris, there's so many big names, and being in that pack, it was so much fun. And actually my first experience with like some of those big dudes was earlier last year, February. I was able to go to the SoCal Fix Series with a couple of my friends.
Nice.
Shouts to them. And I was able to do 2 races out there, and for a while I was able to hang on for the top, man. And the first race, I got a DNF, my chain dropped, and it was such a bummer because I was coming into the last turn with like top 15, and then the whole chain drops, and it just bummed me out, man. But then the second day, I was able to get 12th the second day, and that was first person on the East Coast, and that's all I was aiming for, man.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
That's awesome.
And I was just so hyped, and I was able to go. Shouts to Cycle Feed. I don't think they no longer exist, but those dudes are so rad, and they got me on their podcast, and it was so cool, and just so much love out there in Cali, and shouts to those people out there for sure.
Yeah, I just talked to this girl, Sydney Richardson. She goes by
Quad.
Yeah.
What's up, Quad? Yeah, yo, she's the best.
Yeah, funny. So I have her episode coming out on, well, it'll already be out by the time this comes out. But
right.
But yeah, she was rad, and we were talking a lot about SoCal, and it seemed like a really cool series. I really want to try to get out there for at least one.
For sure, yeah, definitely, man. It's an adventure, and it's good, clean racing. And where else can you get that type of caliber of talent on a track bike?
Yeah, for sure.
So if you really want to test what you got and the level you at, you definitely sign up for one of those races. And shouts to Lewis, who throws the races, OC Brakeless. Yo, dude, Lewis was the man, showed mad love. Like he knew me since day one, and he's always shouting out the podcast. I gotta send them, and also send you some sweaters, man. We're gonna get that merch soon. I don't mean to talk about that, but yeah. Shouts to Lewis, regardless.
Hell yeah, that's rad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to try to do some stuff soon, so I'll definitely try to get some out to you guys.
Oh, for sure, man. Yo, big shouts to you, man. Save the Track Bike, yo. Everybody go follow that. If you're listening, you already know. I'm glad you're doing something, man. I've listened to some of the episodes, and they're so cool. And it reminds me of like what me and Gabe and Cisco were able to do with our podcast. You know, we had something grow out of a bike shop basement. Like we were there one day, and I'm listening to like
shout that out real quick. Tell people like if they haven't heard of your podcast, just tell them about that. How did it get started? It's called Cat 6 Chismes. Is that how you say it?
Cat 6 Chismes, yes. Chismes is a slang Spanish word used by most Puerto Ricans in New York, and it's basically gossip, right?
Yeah.
So how that came about, I was listening to like mad podcasts at the time. I was a courier in New York City, and you know, you get a lot of time on the road, so you want to listen to something, and music gets whack after a while. So I'm listening to this podcast. I go to the bike stop out in Queens, Astoria. Shout out to them. And basically at the time, Cisco's the manager, and my friend Gabe is the mechanic. And we're there one night after the shop is closed, and right before we're about to go bowling, and we're like thinking, we want to put something together for the community, you know? We want to give a platform. And there weren't too many at the time. There weren't too many bike podcasts. You had Cycle Feed, and then Crosshairs, which is it's a cycle cross podcast. I forget who it's hosted by, but it's called Crosshairs. And those were like the only two that we knew. And so we're there, and we're in the basement, and we're brainstorming what we're going to do about the show. And I wanted to host a show that was basically Cat 6 Stories, which is if you don't know about Cat 6, it is a street term used in most messenger communities, where it's an impromptu race. You look at somebody who's riding with you in the streets, and you know, you get that eye contact, and you're like, bro, you're not gonna drop me, stop it. So it becomes, you know, and it's usually on the street, on a bridge. Really dangerous, really stupid, but people got egos, and you know, you want to stroke your ego sometimes. Pause. So we're there, and I tell them that, and they're like, that's cool, but then that's only going to be like 5, maybe 10-minute podcast. At the time, there was so much drama in New York City as part of the scene, whatever, you know, cycling scene we have, and since there was so much drama, we were going to give a platform for people to talk about what's happening in their lives. If it's like, it gives them a chance to like promote their things, and like I said, give them that platform like you do. And basically we were able to combine the two shows, so we created Cat 6 Chismes.
Nice. I love your guys' podcast, man. I listen to every episode since I found it.
Josh, for real?
Yeah. Love it.
Stop. Yeah, thank you, man. No, for real, I really appreciate that.
I think you posted about it on Instagram maybe like 3 months ago, and then after that I just started listening to every episode. I love it. Good stuff.
Dogs, thank you very much, man. Yeah. We just finished our second season, which is also our second year, and you know, steadily we're growing, and we're getting more listeners and more followers, and I appreciate everyone, bro. Anybody who follows, anybody who like just sees the vision that we're trying to put out there, man. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. And we're always going to try to give back and give you good content, you know?
Nice. I had a Cat 6 the other day, so, you know, maybe I'll save it till I'm on your guys' site, but I don't know.
Ooh. You know, I was just about to ask you, like, maybe you could tell us a story, but, you know.
All right. I'll give it now, because it was a pretty good one. It was a pretty good one.
Go.
So I was out. We have this bike trail. It's like it kind of goes through the city diagonally and avoids like roads. And I take that sometimes when I'm feeling like riding to work really chill, because it's like pretty much goes straight to my work. And then the other day I was just riding on it. I was riding pretty fast, but I was just kind of, you know, I was going to work. I wasn't trying to race anyone.
Of course.
Exactly, which is what the story is. And then all of a sudden I just feel this person just kind of like get up on my wheel like real fast, and I was like, damn, this person's really fast. And then they fly around past me, you know, and they're on this giant mountain bike, and I noticed that it's an e-bike.
Oh, man.
And then I'm just like, you know what, I feel like pushing myself a little bit now, so I just I just start booking it. And I just put on like a bigger gear on my bike like that day. I was going to go on a ride after work, so I'm on my like race bike.
There we go.
And I just like push as hard as I can. And then, like, I finally passed the guy, and then I got off on my little exit to get off the trail. I was like, I'm done.
I'm done. That's it. I got him. That's it. I pushed 25 because I know he's at least going 25 with that motorbike.
Yep.
Yo, good job, Josh. Good job. Yeah. And, yo, I heard you say book it, man. It was so cool hearing you say that. That's definitely the word. If you would have used jet as well, I would have been like, yo, did you grow up out in New York?
Right. I've only been to New York once, and I didn't have a bike when I was there, so I need to fix that.
Yeah, you definitely need to fix that, man. Can you ride 56 size?
56?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my size.
Oh man, so when you're out here in New York, man, I already got you on that bike, bro. Just get out here.
Hell yeah. I want to try to get out there, so I'll let you know.
Yo, thank you for sharing your Catholic story on your podcast, man.
Of course.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. So tell me, so y'all are from Queens, right?
No. Originally, Gabe is the one from Queens, born and raised out there. And then Cisco was born out on the West Coast, out in Cali. And then I was born in El Barrio, New York, which is Spanish Harlem.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so how I met Gabe was I was a messenger, and we worked at the same company. And then while he was doing that, he was also part-time at the bike shop. And like I told you, which was Cisco was the manager. And that's how we all came together. And then the podcast was going to start in Queens. And shout outs to Bolero, because that's where we do the podcast. It's in a bowling alley. And basically the race team and the podcast, everything is centered out of Queens. But, you know, we're from around.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's the cycling scene out there like? Kind of give us a feel for people that aren't from there. As far as like races, I mean, everybody knows Red Hook. Like, what other kind of stuff is going on besides that?
So, the scene it's a pretty big scene with all different disciplines. You have the Casino Velodrome, which we are very lucky to have. It's not the best one, but hey, we got one.
Yeah.
And
that's better than most.
Right? That's our local track racing, and that's where we get to do our left turns all around. And then you have basically the Alley Cat scene, which where I got my start. And in the Alley Cat scene, the numbers have died down a little bit, but you know, for those who are real and want to play in traffic, you got that. Then you got your road scene. So it's a pretty big scene with very different personalities, a good mix, very good competitive talent out here. And if you come out here, the weather is definitely going to test you, man. Let me tell you that.
Yeah. The one time I was there, it was hot as fuck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in the summer, it's really hot. And then in the winter, it's super cold. Like, today it was like 9 degrees, bro. And shout outs to all the couriers that were out there. Shout outs to the people working today. I hope you got tipped today because it's brutal out there, man. And you live in Colorado. You know what it's like, man.
Oh, yeah. I feel you. Yeah. It's for like sure. I went riding the other day, and I did like 20 miles, and I was like, all right, I'm going to turn around. And I was fine. Yeah. It felt like 24. It was fine. And then, like, I turn around, and I have this headwind. And all of a sudden, it felt like it was like 0 degrees, and my hands were. I wasn't wearing enough clothes. It was a bad choice. No. So I had to ride like 20 miles with my hands, just like so painful.
Oh, dog, I feel your pain. No matter what you do, right? No matter how much warm up, you could go as fast as you want, as slow as you want. It's not going to change.
Yep.
Man,
it was brutal.
The cold is. The cold is something, man. Old man winter, yo, kicking our ass.
Right.
Right. But no, to get back on the New York cycling scene, whatever you want to do, if whatever kind of discipline you want to do, we have it, and they're all very competitive. It's a great scene, and I'm glad to be a part of it. It's going to be my 5th year racing here, and as well as it's going to be my 3rd year racing as far as sanctioned races goes, and then my 5th year overall riding a bike.
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. So how did Tribe come about? Because I think that's actually how I found your Instagram, was through Tribe Bicycles, because I was trying to figure out what track bike to get, and I was just like searching around everywhere and came across them, and like they seem like a really cool company. One of my friends rides the Messenger bike, and yeah, I don't know. How did Tribe come about for you?
Yeah, so shouts to Tribe, shouts to Mitch and Wyatt, who are, I guess, the co-founders of Tribe. And one day I'm riding in Casina, and Caesar McKay approaches me, and he's like, yeah, bruh, come talk to me. And I'm like, all right, what's up? So he's like, yo, Tribe is looking for some racers, man. They want to go do the series out in the Fixation series. And we're looking for some strong racers, and according to Caesar, I'm one of the strongest, and I was very humbled by that they actually offered me. So then I got to meet Mitch and Wyatt, and, anybody trying to offer me a bike and a trip at this time, it is so costly racing.
Oh, totally.
And I'm a full-time dad, and, I have full-time work. It's so hard racing, and it's, bills everywhere for everyone. And so he offered me the free trip, and I was like, yo, we out, bro. And I was able to put on for them, and it was awesome, man. It was a great trip. Again, shout outs to Caesar who put me on, man.
Hell yeah, that's really good to hear. I love hearing about companies like kind of going out and supporting riders and stuff. Those stories are always really inspiring, I think.
Oh yeah, it's definitely great, man. It's an East Coast company. We don't have too many companies out here, and they're investing in the community, bro. They're taking local racers and taking them out of the state to go race. Who else is doing that right now?
Hell yeah.
At least on the East Coast. They're taking. We I don't know. I guess there's a kind of a prejudice on the East Coast because we definitely don't have the elevation that you got on the West, and that's definitely helpful. But dude, yeah, shouts to Tribe for taking us out there, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to talk about that race series in general. Like,
okay,
how did that go? And like, what were the courses like? Just kind of what was that whole experience going down to the Midwest and doing that? It's the Fixation and the Intelligentsia series, right?
Right. I think that was that the Chicago one? Intelligentsia might have been Chicago, right?
Yeah, I think that was Chicago.
Because Fixation had two series. There was one in Milwaukee.
Okay.
And the Milwaukee one was the first one. That was in June. And originally I went out there again with Tribe, and that was me and Caesar racing under the Tribe banner. And it was fun, man. Again, I was pretty stoked. I was really happy to see some familiar faces when I got to see Addison and a few of the dudes out there. And the course, so the first day I go, and I have two options. I either have 48-14 or 49-14. And not knowing the course, and, if I ask fellow riders, not a lot of them are going to tell you the truth about what they're riding.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to keep their ratio secret. I'm letting people know, 48-14 or 49-14. Come holla at me,
Right.
So, yeah, so usually with your competitors, they're not going to tell you. So I really didn't know, and this is my first time. One of my boys, John, actually gave me the course details. He sent me a screenshot of the course, and this is like my real first year racing against these guys. So it's like, I'm a rookie, man. I'm a rookie. So I really don't know what to expect going into these races. I know they're really fast, and you better hang on. And the course was they were technical. As compared to the Cali series, out in Cali, I felt like we had wider spaces and bigger blocks, basically. So they were wider spaces. And then on these courses in Milwaukee and Chicago, they were a bit more narrow, down one ways and stuff like that. So just being able to, you have to get a feel for the course first. So you can't go out and floor it from the beginning, even though you're supposed to floor it, because if you don't hang on to those first few people, forget it. Your race is done. You're going to be midway, and you're probably going to get caught, especially for Red Hook.
Yeah.
But going back to the Fixation series, they were so much fun, man, and they were so fast. I think the pace was over 26, and these guys are brutal, man. You really have to train, and you really have to be on top of your game to even hang in the first few laps with these guys. And once you hang in those first few laps, you're able to get that recovery. If you're not able to recover at speed, forget it, dog. You better keep training, because these guys, so elite, and the learning curve has been steep, dog. Let me tell you. but it's been fun, man, and I hope I get to race again with these guys this year and rub some elbows again, man.
Hell yeah, that'd be rad.
Yeah, right.
So I was listening on your podcast, and you were talking about Cat 6 racing team.
C6. Yep.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that a little bit? Like who's on the team and what are y'all's plans for 2018?
For sure. All right, so C6 Racing came about. I used to be on Crankshift, right? And Crankshift was one of the powerhouses in our local circuit. But unfortunately, through different visions and different things, we disbanded. And so I knew coming into the next season that I would need a team to like not just to train with. It's good to have a good group of people around you so that you guys can push yourselves. So you guys can keep in shape, basically. So with the podcast, I was thinking, me and Cisco were thinking, let's start a team, and we wanted to fill out a roster of like good talent in the neighborhood. And we reached out. I think one of our first picks were shouts to Victor Martinez and shouts to Avery Gilbert. They were out there racing with Skid and Destroy, and we decided Skin and Destroy was one of my clothing sponsors at the time and still is. We decided to join the teams and become C6 Racing / Skin and Destroy, but under the C6 banner, right? So they were our first two picks. Then we were able to talk to Lester Lee, one powerful sprinter, man. This guy is the LeBron James of our scene. This guy is built, and he's naturally gifted, dog. I look at him, and this dude's eating like cheeseburgers and pizzas, and he's built. He's built like a god, dude. It was so hard to get to, like, because I'm Hispanic, right? So we eat good, and it's hard to like maintain that weight and be in racing form. Right now, I'm like I'm about 217, so I'm on a bigger side, but you got to be in racing form and you got to be lean because these guys are serious pros.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lester is awesome. During the season, we picked up Giovanni Ramirez. He was also on that tribe trip in Chicago, and we were able to bond and see a similar vision. And he saw what we were trying to do at C6, and he didn't really have a team at the time. So just through that series and coming back and racing the local track scene, we developed a bond. And of course, he became family, and with family, you're going to put him on regardless. So put him on. And then it's Cisco, who is our sound engineer and our team manager. And he does all the cross racing. And let me tell you, Cisco Colon is a beast on the dirt, man. He's been killing it out here in the local series. Also, shouts to Keith Garrison. He's a King Cod team leader. He put on a couple cross races locally for Cisco to go have fun.
Nice.
And,
I heard about. I heard that interview you guys did with him.
Yeah, it was really fun, and he gives good insight on how hard it is to like throw a race, especially a sanctioned one.
Yeah, for sure. I'm kind of trying to figure that out here because we don't have like a dedicated like fixed gear crit out here.
Right.
So we're trying to. Me and a couple people are trying to figure out what we can do. So we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yo, Josh, let me tell you, man. Josh, it is so hard to throw a crit, man. And especially a fixed gear crit, they're going to want to see, I don't know, maybe Denver, or you're Colorado, Denver?
Yep.
All right, cool. Maybe their regulations and street regulations are different from New York, but like, dog, if you don't have the money and the backing from lawyers and stuff, this isn't going to happen in the city.
Well, I did have one breakthrough the other day where I talked to my friend, and she works for the city of Denver. And she was like, "Oh, I get free permits to put on things, so let me know."
Let's go.
So yes. So that's why I'm kind of like, all right, maybe I should move forward and try to do this race. So we'll see what happens.
Yo, Josh, push the culture, man. Make that happen, all right, man?
Yeah, man, I feel you.
And let me know if it's on. I'll definitely fly out and go attend, man. I would love to be a part of that.
Hell yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you, and it's so hard to put on fixed gear crits over here, right? Like I said, you need a permit, you need a spot. Usually we do local race series, so we Shouts to Corey Hilliard, who hosts Not So Friendly Laps, which is a local non-sanctioned race series that we throw in Prospect Park. And a lot of good talent comes out through there. All the amateurs are there for us, and it's good quality racing. And that's how we stay fit most of the time. But, it's so hard throwing races, man. And you got to have the backing. And you got to have people to actually come out. I try to throw Black Friday Crit, which is... Last year was his third year in a row, and it's been very successful. I appreciate everyone who shows up. I throw it Black Friday, which is November, and it's not the best time to race a track bike in New York City at that time. And I love that people show up. We always get at least 50 in attendance and at least over 20 racing. And, that shows dedication and what we're made out here in New York, man. And I appreciate everybody that comes through. And for now, it's a underground series, but hopefully I can get the backing and the permission to make it another crit series that's not Red Hook, because Red Hook is so pro.
Yeah.
Dog, it is so pro, and it's so hard to make it. And that's really anybody that's racing this local scene here who even wants to have fun just to do it. You're just racing for the daytime pictures. It's really hard to make that nighttime.
For
and
sure.
there's no other series out here like that. That's track. We have. I was thinking maybe doing it at Floyd Bennett, but I got to speak to those people first, because we would be able to have a closed off road there. But again, that's going to be hard, and I got to make those connections first.
Yeah, was it SoCal that puts on they have an attack category or whatever for?
Yes, they do have an attack category, which is I guess it would be the JV, right?
Yeah.
So it would be like the minor league, and if you can dominate that one, that's when when you can move up. But that's even awesome that they even have two different levels like that, and that they can actually fund two different races at that time,
Yeah, that's
it's
really cool.
It's very hard to do, man.
That's kind of what I'm hoping is you see Red Hook, you have all these UCI pros coming out, and which is cool because it gives it's brings kind of attention to the sport and stuff. But
right.
Hopefully as it grows with that, there will be more opportunity for there to be some different categories. If you're doing road crits, you have all day, you got your, different categories of racers. So hopefully, as the fixed gears crit scene grows, then there will be more opportunity for other people.
Seriously, I would really hope, because it's those who are pushing the culture forward that would give the opportunity for the superstars to come over and cross over. Yeah. And then once they cross over, the little people kind of get left behind, and they saturate the market, they take it for what it's worth, and then they leave us, the purist, behind in the dust. But I hope we can all push it forward, and let's see what we can do, man. It's 2018. Why not, right?
Right.
And what's an experience too that I had racing at these piggyback events, and I say piggyback because they allow us to piggyback off the Intelligentsia Cup and all that. When we show up with our track bikes, everyone looks and oh, those bikes are really cool, but then we're not looked the same as those road racers.
Yeah.
And everybody, those fixie bikes and all that. And it's not a fixie bike, bro. I've almost broke the bank trying to keep my track bike in racing order.
Yeah.
And it I don't know how to feel about it, because I know they don't know.
Yeah.
And I just would like to teach them. And that's why we need to keep pushing the culture forward, so that everybody can understand that this is just not a fixie bike.
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking about that a little bit with someone, and we were talking about how, I think it was with Josh Tyrell, actually, when we were talking.
To Josh.
Yeah, he was nice. I like that guy.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, we were talking about how, because I have a boss that's a big roadie, and he was kind of questioning me about, how you do a crit on a track bike when you can't stop pedaling, doing cornering and stuff. And I'm like, well, we got higher bottom brackets, we have shorter cranks, you can pedal strike, but I mean, roadies pedal strike all the time.
All the time. I learned that this year. I did my first year of road racing, not to get off track. And my first race, I I'm used to like pedaling through that corner.
Yeah.
And then I try to catch the sprinter who had just left on the sprint lap. And as I'm catching up to him, we hit the turn, and I just pedal strike right through that. Oh. But yeah, man. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I know. When I first, because I've been riding a fixed gear bike for so long, when I first got on a road bike, like maybe a year ago, and decided to kind of try that out, it was funny because I had the opposite problem where, like, you know how most people, when they start riding a fixed gear for the first time, they'll forget that they have to keep pedaling and they try to stop, and then
oh, you get that buck action
yeah,
where like it hits you forward and you slightly endo.
Yep. And then so I had the opposite problem where I kept thinking that I had to keep pedaling. So whenever I would start coasting, I would kind of freak out a little bit.
Yeah, for sure, right? You get that little panic attack. It's like, you know, that little drop in your stomach. I've been there.
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh,
yeah. No, but I think it's cool because I think that there's a lot of like unique races happening now, like the Red Bull Hill Climb, the Rad Race 42 in Germany, and Scott and Josh from the state bicycle team, they kind of brought to light this race I never knew about. That's like a 3-day stage race for track bikes in California that like Mobbin Mondays puts on.
Right.
And man, that kind of stuff, I think that can really help push things forward, just having like different kinds of events like that too. Because I think that day is like they have a road race on track bikes, and then a time trial, and then a crit. And I'm just like, man, 3 days of racing for one trip, that sounds really nice.
That sounds great, right?
Yeah. So
tell us to email the dates, man, and we'll definitely try to make that trip happen.
Yeah, man, I think that race sounds amazing, just for a different kind of experience too. But yeah, there's like fixed gear crits happen out here now, but I definitely want to see more that are just fixed gear focused a little bit,
right.
With different categories, and trying to get like some of the teams to come out and stuff. So we'll see what happens. We're working on it.
Right. As long as the funding's there, man, all this is possible. But the funding and the people have to be there.
Yeah, the funding is the hard part.
That's what's the hard part. We got to get these sponsors behind us, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I'm spending all my money trying to keep my bike in good order too. So.
Oh, dog! I spent all my savings last year trying to go to all these races and stuff. But you know, it's our passion, and I would rather spend my money on that than anything else. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah. So many distractions out there.
You what?
So many distractions out there that you could be spending your money on, and I try to invest it in the bike.
Yeah, I feel you. I think that's good. I had a question, and now it's leaving me.
Sorry about that, man.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. I wanted to talk about what bike you're riding now outside of the tribe bike. Just like, what's your setup? What you got going on?
Okay, so the tribe bike, I have that one, and then I also have 2 Continuums. Shout outs to Jeff Underwood, who gave me my first break in basically the track bike world. He has a local shop called CC Cyclery down in basically Alphabet City. Shout outs to them, looked them up, and basically my first bike was an aluminum Continuum. About, what did I have on there? Basically, that was the street bike, so I had mixed flex parts, and that was the Alley Cat bike. And then I have a steel Columbus tubing Continuum. It's the fire red one that I have.
Yeah,
and
I've seen the pictures of that one.
Let me tell you, man, that rides like a dream, man. I love that bike. I wish it was a little bit bigger. It doesn't fit me. It's a 56, but it's not like a true 56. So I gotta put that 130 on. I do have longer arms than most, so it's a bit uncomfortable now. But it's my favorite bike. It's my race bike, and I have all my best parts on there. I have some zip bars. I have Thompson cockpit. Let me tell you, Sagino 75s on the cranks and all that. And Bespoke Chain Ring, shouts to Bespoke. They hooked me up with their chain ring last year for Red Hook, the 49T, like I told you, my favorite. And yeah, that's my bike, man. And you can also check it out at Terry's video, Terry Boston.
Oh yeah, I was going to talk to you about that next, actually.
Oh yeah, all right. So there you go. Shouts to him. Go look him up on YouTube. You can see the bike there, and it was let me tell you, it was fun doing a video with him.
Yeah, that video's sick. I love his style. I never saw them before you posted that video.
Yeah.
But damn, the way he follows and just the camera angles he gets, and I don't know what he's doing to get all the... I'm a filmmaker too, so I'm like nerd out about all that stuff, but
yeah.
Those videos that he puts out are just so gorgeous, and that one you were in was... Yeah, that got me stoked. I went and rode like directly after. I was like, I gotta go right now.
Oh, word. I appreciate that, man. Word. And also, shouts to you, man. I saw that you have a feature length film out.
Oh yeah, we're editing it right now. So.
All right, cool. Send that link when it's done, man. I'll definitely watch it.
Hell yeah. I have a friend who is a filmmaker that lives in Queens, and so I'm hoping to go out there and do some kind of event with him when it's done. So we'll see what happens.
Sure. Let me know when you're going to come out there, and I'll let you know what events are going to happen, and we'll definitely link up and make that happen, man.
Cool.
But yeah, riding with Terry, man, it was so much fun. He comes up to me and he's like, yo, what you want to do? And I'm like, well, I'm from uptown and stuff, so we could do like a coffee ride. Well, he brought the coffee ride to me, and he was like, look, I know your name's Coffee Pod and all that on Instagram. Well, it used to be. And basically he wanted me to tell him about myself on a coffee ride. And after the coffee ride is when we filmed the hotline, and that's what you see if you go to his YouTube. And so much fun riding in traffic in New York. And I feel that I've only been riding a bike for 5 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I ride almost every day, and like I know the streets of New York City, and you can never take anything for granted. But I feel the way I ride is cautious and respectful. I might ride in the middle lanes and in the middle of the street, but I'm always like giving my hand to a driver or something. And I don't mean the finger. I mean, like, I'm pointing, I'm going left, I'm pointing, I'm going right. I ask for permission to enter lanes. So it does look like I'm riding reckless, but to those in traffic and when you know your surroundings, I'm just another driver out there, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I have the same kind of style when I'm riding through the city, too. Just kind of, I don't know.
Right, it goes back to that corny line, oh, I feel one with the bike, and it's an extension of my legs when I ride.
Right?
Right?
I always talk about that stuff like on fixed gear bikes. People are like, "Oh, I just feel this like connection and stuff," and it's like it sounds so corny, but fuck, man, it's true.
It's so true, right? It's like you really do feel that connection, and I feel like it goes under like the Premium Rush section.
Yep.
But dog, as corny and as cliche as it is, it's really an extension of your legs. Yeah. And let me tell you, Terry is a motherfucking beast. He had some wide bars. He had the deluxe wide bars on there, and the dude was cutting traffic better than I was.
Damn.
And I told him, dude, you need your own video, because some of the moves we were pulling, I was putting him in tight situations. Like, we were between like a bus and a garbage truck.
So he's filming those all on a bike.
All on a bike.
Damn.
I don't really want to give away his thing, but he's filming them on a bike.
All right.
Yeah. And I actually told him, like, yo, if you ever want to be behind one of these videos, you let me know and I'll follow you.
Yeah, that'd be right.
Right.
So what are some of your other favorite videos? Have you done many other edits, or are there any other videos that you're not in that you really just want to shout out and you love watching?
Oh, for sure. Yo, shouts to the Cooper one, which broke World Star, and that really got a rise. That video is really nice. Any of his videos are awesome. I love watching it. What other videos are like? Any of the Alley Cat videos? I feel like I've seen everything on YouTube and Vimeo. Vimeo.
Yeah.
Sorry, Venmo is the Cash App.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll probably get a text from them later. But yeah. So I feel like I'm YouTube master. I've gone down all the rabbit holes and seen all the videos. Shouts to all the videos, from the pedal documentary, that's really great,
mm-hmm.
to shouts to Mickey Moon, who is our local track recorder. So he comes out every event and is able to record all the races and puts them on YouTube for us to go back and watch. And that is amazing, bro. Seeing yourself grow and being able to like kind of study your own film,
Yeah.
That's always been a plus. And being from a basketball and sports background, any kind of film is always a benefit to see any holes in your game and what you should work on. So shouts to Mickey for doing that. As far as videos, all-time favorites, Line of Sight, Rose Sage, shout to Lucas. I want to holler at Lucas Brunel, bro. You have some Monster Track footage that I'm just trying to see. I'm not going to try to put out there. That was my first Monster Track, and everybody has footage, but nobody's put out a mixtape about it.
Damn.
And, yeah, right?
I want to see that, too.
Right? And let me tell you the conditions. It was so wet. It was cold. Shouts to Alfred Bobby, who won that one. But, yeah, it was fun. And, again, it was basically my first experience with the big boys in an alley cat. And being able to finish 19th, unfortunately, while I was with the front pack, I dropped my manifest. And it's almost like the pros in Red Hook. Once you get dropped, it is so hard to get back. And these guys are fucking wizards in traffic. Shouts to Dominican Chris, shouts to Cooper, Alfred Bobby, who come out and keep putting on for the culture. Shouts to young James McKay. It's so much fun being able to ride and race against these guys. And like, if you just go on YouTube and watch their films, you'll see it yourself. These guys are maniacs and very talented dudes on a bike.
Yeah, man, I love that. I love a lot of those. That Line of Sight video I watched
all the time.
Yeah. I watched that a long time ago, and just like, when did that come out even? I'm like trying to even picture.
Maybe 2011, 12.
Yeah, that makes sense. Man,
yo,
that's some good stuff.
And it made Netflix, dog. That film made Netflix.
Nice.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, that's crazy. I think that's where I saw it the first time, actually. That makes sense.
Right?
Yeah, man, that's good. Yeah, I grew up on all the, when I first started riding, it was MASH just came out, and Macaframa was being edited, and we like had a screening party at a bar over here, and just like, man, I get pumped. Seriously, I go down the rabbit hole too. I just love watching videos of people riding bikes.
It's beautiful, man. And then it gets me hyped to go ride. And also shout out to those MASH guys, Chaz as well, man. We have a little Monster Track rivalry, and it's fun. It's fun, man. Because we both know Chris, and we don't know each other. But the first 2 times we raced Monster Track against each other, somehow we both kept putting our bikes together for the start. And I guess he doesn't think I'm fast enough. So he was like cursing. He was like, yo, get the fuck out the way and all that. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, yo, dog, you in my city, dog. Don't talk to me like that. And, we didn't know each other. And I don't blame him, dog. I was a rookie. I could have put him in harm. He doesn't know how I ride. So now looking back at it, I was offended. But it's only like, I don't know you, so I don't know how you ride. And I get it. It could be dangerous. We're out in traffic. And now I do know him, and he's a sweet dude, man. Hell of a smile, too, man.
That's
poster
awesome.
boy, right? A poster boy for the track bike, dog.
Nice.
Him and Santucci.
I think that Monster Track posted something today. Did they, announce the date or something, or is it coming up soon? I don't know.
Yes, Monster Track did post. So I don't think Victor Uma, shouts to Victor Uma, who was one of the founders and stuff after Snake. He kept pushing the Monster Track culture forward. This year he gave the reins to reigning champion Dominican Chris, and he will be posting the race and hosting it. I believe the dates are the last weekend. It's the 25th to the 28th, right? Might be.
I think so.
Yeah, right. Either way, go check it out on the Instagram page. Follow Monster Track, you'll see it. And if you guys want a rad ass race, dog, and an intense ride, dog, this is a roller coaster on 2 wheels. I absolutely love Monster Track. I've done it 3 times. First time I got 19th. Second time I got 11th. And last year I arrived first but got second place.
Good job.
I know. Yeah. There's video on my Instagram about it. You'll see it.
I feel like I need to do it. You know, I'm still young. I need to do something like that.
Yo, Jay, come out, bro. February, if you could do it, hell yeah. Set it up, and it's so much fun, man. It's so much fun, and the after party is always amazing.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I want to try to make it out to as many things as I can, because I want to do some like documentary style podcasts where I'm just kind of like talking about what's happening and interviewing people as I go and all that stuff. But if I can't make it, you should at least come on for like, 10 minutes or 15 minutes or something and like give me a rundown on what happened.
Oh, for sure, man. Yo, if you want any news from the East Coast, man, I'll be your reporter out here, all right?
Hell yeah. I'm trying to get a network of people all around so we can, when I can't make it to things, we can kind of at least cover everything that's going on,
Oh, for sure. That's actually, we always love working with people, and we actually did that with Cycle Feed last year. They couldn't come make it out to Red Hook, so they asked us to basically take over their channel and give them a report about Red Hook. And we had so many views that night, and it was so much fun being able to entertain people. Shout outs to Gabe, who is my co-host and my partner, my dude. Yo, that dude is so funny. He is the MC of life. And yeah, without him, man, this wouldn't be able to happen.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So did you race Red Hook last year, or have you raced it?
Yes. Okay. I've done it twice. My first experience was 2015. I was super raw, super rookie, and got super dropped. And the way the format was back then was that you had to have the fastest lap and try to qualify that way. I didn't know what I was doing, so I wasn't able to catch the elites draft. So I was out there in no man's land trying to do my own personal best. And at that time, I was not strong. I just started pushing like 51.15, and I definitely could not hold it. I took 2016 off because I was in a dedicated relationship and I was a messenger still, and getting those junk miles and base miles it wasn't good for racing. So I would show up to a race and already have 75 miles on my legs. So when I show up to the race, I'm getting spanked because I don't have anything in the tank.
Yeah.
So I took 2016 off to race, and then last year I came back, and I came back with a vengeance, felt strong. I started the season as a Cat 4 track racer with 0 points, and by April I was Cat 3.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, man, it was. I'm telling you, last year was so amazing for me, and it was a breakout season, and I appreciate everybody who was with me on the journey. But as the day of Red Hook, I'm in heat 1. Boom, right? Heat 1. I believe it was who was the top dog in my heat? I think maybe Colin, was it? No, I don't know. I don't remember who was the top dog, but I had a bunch of heavy hitters in my heat. And they decided to put me behind Jeremy Santucci. So we're starting, we get to the line, and, me being able to race with Santucci during the series, during the track series we have here, we developed kind of like a friendship, and like I knew basically how he rode, and he knew how I rode. So we wanted to start some team and get some teamwork in. But unfortunately, at the start, people were unable to clip in, and we were so far back that by the time everybody was able to clip in, we were still top 30, but we had lost the front pack. And it was about 4 of us really working hard. We were between 25 and 29th. If you were top 20, you automatically advanced to the night stage. But I guess 21 to 30 had to go to last chance. So I'm still thinking I have a chance, right? The last lap comes in, and I guess the racer's already finished, but the motorbike is still going, and it catches me, and they wave me off. And unfortunately, since I wasn't able to finish, they didn't. Even though I finished in the top 30, I wasn't able to compete because I don't have championship points. So I didn't make it, and I was crushed. And I felt like if I was able to have a good start, I definitely would have made it. But, it gave me more fuel for the season, and I'm looking so forward to doing it again this year. And I'm ready, man. Trimble, sign me up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Dude, it's so intense. It's fucking NASCAR on a fixed gear bike. And just, this is my 5th year, and being able to hang in with some of the top dogs is an experience in itself. And man, I'm so grateful the day I picked up a bike.
Fuck yeah. Let's see, I guess before we get out of here, do you have any like shout outs or anything you want to say before we get out? How can people find you on Instagram? How can they find the podcast, the race team, all that shit?
For sure. So, yeah, we'll start with shout outs. Shout outs to everyone who supports right now. Primal Kitchen, spin on these. He's going to send me some wheels. I've been looking forward to like race these wheels for a minute. Shout outs to C6 Racing. Catch us on Instagram. You can find us there. Facebook as well. Shouts to the podcast, Cat 6 Chismes. Find us on Instagram, SoundCloud, and also on iTunes, or the podcast app on iTunes. And yeah, shout outs to Bike Stop who are able to keep my race bike in tip-top shape. Shout outs to Gabe, who's my mechanic, and also the co-host. Shout outs to Cisco. Shout outs to the whole New York community, man. It's been fun growing up in this scene, and I say growing up because, like I told you, I was a rookie 4 years ago, and it's been amazing to meet the street culture and also meet like the pro culture, and being able to like try to combine both, you know. And it's been a wild ride. So yeah, just go to those pages. You'll be able to follow our story. Shout outs to the team. Pretty much.
Yeah, man. I want to tell everybody too to go listen to the podcast. They have some really good interviews on there. It's really good stuff, and yeah, man.
I appreciate that.
And to you, like, good luck with the race season and everything. Like, I don't know, and I appreciate you coming on this podcast and everything. It's just cool that I feel like since I've started this thing that I've gotten so much support, and it feels like this community can be like really supportive and awesome. So I appreciate people like you and what you guys are doing.
Same here, man. Just off the strength that you're trying to push the culture forward. I saw you when you first started, and I saw when you put Save the Track Bike, and listening from the first episode on. Keep doing it, man. Keep going strong. I can't wait. Also, do those documentary films. I would love that, man. I want to be able to be like 50, 60 and look back and be like, yo, we did something, you know, we left our mark. What's going to be your legacy, you know?
Yeah, man.
Let's leave a legacy behind, man. Let's leave a trail so that people can like follow and blaze a new path. I
agree. I'm with you.
Yeah. Yo, so you already know, man. Follow Save the Track Bike. Go like them everywhere. Go follow Cat 6 Chismes, C6 Racing. Definitely go follow Terry. Go follow everybody. Just stay up with the culture. And if you see me in the streets, say what up. I'm not going to be an elitist. I know where I come from. I'm that dude on that dented ass Bianchi, bro. Nothing's ever changed.
Yep. I'm the guy on the, Bikes Direct Mercier, so.
Let's go. You know what's funny? Gabe started on one of those too, man.
Hell yeah, those bikes, man. Those bikes are rad.
Man, make it out to New York, man. We need to hang out. We'll take you to Bolero. We'll get you on the pod. And, you're already part of the family, bro.
Cool. I'm into it. I love that idea.
Hell yeah.
Cool, man. Well, thanks again.
Oh, of course, man. Thank you for reaching out. Thank you for letting me be a guest. I was pretty anxious and nervous getting on. I'm usually on your side.
Right.
But this has been fun. Let me know. I'll keep you up to date with anything going on the East Coast, and let's push the culture, bro.
All right, that does it for another episode of Save the Track Bike. I want to thank Buckets for coming on. I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was super fun. I look forward to riding with him and seeing him at races. And this podcast is produced by David Draper. The music is Vitamin Pets. SaveTheTrackBike.com. Follow us on Instagram at SaveTheTrackBike. And until next week, go ride your track bike in inappropriate places if you're into that kind of thing.